Hello people of YouTube, my name is Brad, this is my channel Animate Orange, and welcome to another 3D metal model build. Today we are going to put together this Venator class Star Destroyer right here. You notice I said 3D metal model build, not Metal Earth build. This is not a Metal Earth model, though I wish they would make this model right here. Probably could make some improvements on the design. Anyway, this is one of those off-brand, don't really know what brand, 3D metal mosaic kits. It's one of the ones where they all have the same package, but on the back is a little sticker that tells you what's most likely in there, because sometimes it's wrong. But it's the only way I could find this model. Being a big Star Wars fan as I am and thinking this is really cool, I went ahead and grabbed this. We're going to put it together, see what it's all about. Well, first we're going to open it up and see what's inside. I've already actually done that. But let's go to the table, see how that went, and put this model together. Alright, we've got the very generically labeled 3D metal mosaic kit, a magical world with these type of generic. This is not the model that I'm building. You gotta flip it over to the back, and there's a sticker of the model I'm building, because these copycat, which this isn't a copycat model, but these type of companies do that sort of generic thing to save a buck. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Tight squeeze. We may have to mangle the packaging to get the sheets out. Yep, they're kind of stuck in there. So probably got glued in on one side. There we go. Seems to have gotten a little bit bent in shipping, which I kind of saw that in the package when it got here, but not too bad. We've got, I think there's two metal sheets here. They're kind of stuck together. What's going on here? This is interesting. Oh, there we go. So, they're actually, the two metal sheets are still attached. There's a little nub here and a little nub here. But, a couple of bends and there we go. There's our two sheets. I think there was maybe a drop of glue or just the way that they were bent in shipping. They stuck together. Let's put those to the side. And we are going to look at the colorful instructions. Don't know if I've built from this company. You know, I may have already said this, because I don't always record in the order in which you see. I don't typically do the off-brands, but in this situation, this was the only way to get the model. I don't like doing off-brands if I can get the model from a better original seller, reputable seller, but no one else makes this, so here we go. Just looking at the instructions upside down, it's a mix of English and Chinese. Actually, I'm going to flip it over here. Keep out of the reach of children, warning small parts, pay attention to sharp edges when removing pieces from the metal sheet, carefully discard the metal sheets after parts have been removed. We've got, yeah, a lot of the same bits and such. Tiny instructions, but I think we can manage. Got the sample part here with the notation on insertion tabs, fold lines, insertion holes. If you've never built one of these models before, basically tabs go into the slots or insertion holes. That's how these parts are held together. Fold lines are just pre-scored areas where the part folds. In this situation, it doesn't look like there's a lot of opportunity to mix things up. Yeah, it's pretty obvious this is the engraved detailed side and this is the non-detailed side, but you can clearly see all these dotted lines or fold lines where the parts fold. So, yeah. And then we have a bit about tools. We'll talk about tools here in a moment, and a bit about when you're attaching, pull and screw metal tab 90 to tighten, 90 degrees to tighten. I don't think they separate out. It doesn't look like they separate out twisted and folded tabs like Metal Earth does. Metal Earth will have like green triangles and blue circles. The blue circle is the folded tab, the green triangle is a twist. Here you're going to have to kind of make up your own mind whether or not you want to twist or fold them. which if you've been building models a while, you probably have the gist of what goes where. or what you want to do, because twisted tabs are tighter or more secure but not as clean. Folded tabs have a cleaner look. Twisted tabs are often used on the inside where folded are used on the outside, but a part that may pop apart more easily, you might want to twist it even though it's on the outside. It depends. Something you learn with time. It looks like the assembly starts down here with part 1. Oh well, we have the metal sheets here. I should cover that. Doesn't say if pieces that are colored the same are duplicate parts, but they may be. So I don't think it says anything about that. So look, we've got 11 here. I mean, how many duplicate parts is this even going to have? Those are slightly different shades. These two parts may be the same. They're the same color. These two, yeah, alright, so here's 28 and here's 28. They're same part, same color, same number. So there is some correlation, though. I'm not going to promise you that every part that's colored the same color is going to be a duplicate part, because I don't know. Rules are a bit off with these off-brand models. We're going to do the best we can. It does at least look like the duplicate parts are both numbered. It's not a very complex model, it doesn't seem. We're going to jump down here to the start with part 1. Easily find it here. We clip it out. Got part 3. It's on one of these sheets. Take a moment to find it. There's 3. Looks like we need 2 of them, so it's a little bitty kind of greenish. I see greens and everything, so I sometimes have trouble differentiating. Looks like there's going to be, oh, here's 3. So there's 3 and 3. We clip those out. They looks, I guess they fold down. It doesn't really say. They fold down into like a box shape and attach on part 2 here, and then this folds down. So yeah, we're going to have to kind of figure out how this goes together, because these are not detailed instructions like Metal Earth. They're not telling you what to fold down. They're not telling you how to twist a tab. So yeah, we're going to have to walk through this piece at a time and just use our best judgment. There is some notation about 4 and 5. Do not buckle at first. So there's some helping hands, but not as much as you may be used to with Metal Earth. But we're gonna muddle through this and do the best we can. Looks like we're going in this direction and then jumping down here and doing this, and then jumping down here and doing this, and then I guess come up here. Oof. With some uncertainty here. Looks like we've got more instructions on the back, but there's not a lot to it, so hopefully this will be a fairly easy to understand model. I've heard decent things about it. I'm going to take a moment to talk about some tools, and we'll get to working on this after that. Let's take a moment to talk about tools. You're going to want some basic tweezers and or pliers to help bend and shape and manipulate the pieces of this model. And I've got a variety of things here that I use. Some precision tweezers, some more basic tweezers with different angles on the end. I've got long nose pliers and flat nose pliers. I've used a variety of these in my build. Pick up whatever tweezers or pliers you see fit. Maybe you have some around the house. Maybe head to your local Harbor Freight, or look for something on eBay or online. Another basic accessory I feel that you're going to need is some sort of flush or side clippers to clip the parts out of the sheet. You can bend and twist them out, but you have a high risk of damaging parts. I've had a variety of different clippers. These are the ones I'm using right now. They're Plato. You can even use nail clippers from the store. They have some that cut at an angle. You can find clippers in all kinds of hardware stores or jewelry stores. Just find something to help you clip the parts out cleanly. Tweezers and pliers are going to get you so far, but there are a lot of curved and cone shapes in these builds, and there's a variety of things that you can use, and I've used a variety of things. You can find dowel rods at your local hardware store. You can find step mandrels at any jewelry shop or hobby shop. You can take dowel rods and sharpen them with a pencil sharpener to get cone shapes. I've even used marbles and beads to make rounded or dome shapes. I've gone so far to even 3D print some of my own tools to help me with shaping. And if you're interested in these, see my description for my Etsy store, but you can find things around the house to help shape parts. I've used cheap drill bit sets, I've used medicine bottles, I've used glue sticks, I've used pens, pencils, I've heard of people using spoons. Just find whatever you can to help shape these things, or go out and look at jewelry stores or craft stores for specialty tools to help you shape things. Alright, we've talked a little bit about tools. I've got my basics to get me started here. Got my instructions and my metal sheets. I'm going to kind of organize things a little bit, and we're going to get started. I feel like this is going to be a fairly intuitive build, even though the instructions aren't detailed as I'm used to. I think we're going to be good on figuring this out. Let's get building and see what happens. The metal sheet was a tad bent from shipping, affecting some parts, but not a big deal. To bend over the long side of part 2 evenly, I pressed the part against the table. It seemed to work well, save for a bent tab. I was having trouble getting this part to sit flat. I realized one of the connecting tabs did not clip off cleanly. It took a moment to trim it. This happened several more times during this build. I did my best to bend this long thin side on part 4 over a little at a time. I could not cleanly bend the entire side over at once. I bent over the tabs on the edges of the model in case there was a later clearance issue when the two halves came together. Same with the long edge of part 5. Another leftover bit from the tab that holds the part on the sheet that needed trimming. I accidentally missed recording shaping and adding the first part 7. Good news is it's 2 of the same part, so it shapes the same. One part 7 goes on the left side of part 6, and the other part 7 goes on the right side of part 6. Shaping the outer raised parts of this model are the most difficult part. Not that it is particularly hard, because the instructions lack some detail. It took a bit of interpreting. I could not seem to get the slots on part 13 to line up with the tabs. I ended up switching 13 with 17 and it worked. I thought perhaps they accidentally swapped and mislabeled the parts. That being said, both sides have some of the same parts, so I am now not sure how things could be spaced differently. Also, I nearly forgot to add part 12, and because of 13 not lining up, I noticed it was missing. Now I am adding part 17 in instead of 13. I bent the tabs over and went back to the tabs on the other side to bend them over, but stopped because I noticed the entire part was warping. I tried to use a drill bit to shape the curve in part 21, but it didn't quite work, so I straightened the part back and bent it into a curve with the flat nose pliers and several small bends. I ended up attaching the top section backwards from what the instructions showed, so I opened it back up and switched it. Turns out part 8 and or 9 can only fit one way. Since I put part 17 on the other assembly, I put part 13 on this assembly. I can easily see how Part B in the instructions can set one on the wrong path when figuring out which way to assemble the top section. It sort of seems to show it as the same as Part A, but this assembly is meant to be mirrored, I think. I sort of pre-fitted the part to make sure I had the right idea before attaching the top section in B. It seems the gaps on part 29 are meant to face a certain way, but with nothing really indicating which is the top or bottom of anything, how can I tell? Well, it seems that there are only 3 ways it can mount with the 3 tabs, and only one of those 3 ways would put the slot facing the longer side. I tried bending the long side up using the table, but it just did not work this time. I really hate that these tabs holding on the base come out right next to other tabs. It made it quite challenging to fold or twist the tabs. They could have easily been avoided by moving the slots over a bit. What a pain. And there you go, it's all finished and complete. A decent model. The metal is decent. I didn't have any problems with it being weak or difficult to shape or soft. It did have issues with the instructions being a little less than clear in some areas. I did my best as far as assembling this top. I'm wondering if the top pieces are in the right order. And at one point I did stop and look online at different pictures of the model to try and make sure the round bit goes under here and this bit goes up front, and you know which way it actually went. And I saw variations in different models and different pictures, so I'm not really sure what's correct. I did not sit down and watch any of the cartoons or animations or any of the movie to try and compare to that. Really didn't want to put that much time into it. I just kind of picked a direction and went with it. I mean, it sounds neat, the idea of making screen accurate props, but I don't know that I have quite the patience for that. This is the direction I decided to go. I am a little disappointed that these fan out like they do. I don't think they're supposed to. Like I said in the beginning, I kind of wish Metal Earth would make this model because I think they can make some improvements to it, but it's one of those, I guess you could say 20/20 models where 20 feet away, well, that's more of a car reference, but it's 20 feet away. It looks pretty neat. I'm going to definitely add it to my Star Wars lineup up here, which is usually behind my head. It only took me a little over 2 hours. I think it was 2 hours and 15 minutes to put together. It's not too bad. It's about the time it would take to put together the original lineup of Metal Earth Star Wars models, like the original Millennium Falcon or R2-D2 or the original Star Destroyer. They were around 2-hour models. So right in line with that. A lot of the detailing is in the engraving. There isn't a whole lot of bits and parts, a few tiny pieces here and there. It really didn't take that long to put together. A fair amount of pieces that you just kind of bend into place to give it more detail. I like the model. I just wish it was designed a little bit better. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll put together a review here hopefully soon, because it's taken me quite a while to get to this. I built this model and kind of put it aside to build something else, and you know, the other model kind of overtook everything. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for continuing to support this channel. And as always, keep on keeping on.